Welcome to Dodgers Daily. I'm Casey Porter. I'm so glad that you decided to tune in. What a great game it was last night for Los Angeles at the Major League level. A dominant win. The offense was just simply fantastic. Clayton Kershaw gutted it out. Wasn't his greatest stuff, but boy, he showed how great of a professional he always has been and still is. On the farm, it was a little bit rough. You lost at the AAA, AA, and high levels. Rancho at the single A level did win last night. So mixed bag as far as your farm goes, but you always want the win at the top, and anytime you get the win at the top, always makes for a great day. So a lot to talk about today. Before we do, just a reminder, hey, we are open for business. If you have a business or if you know somebody who has a business that would like to sponsor this Dodgers Daily show, our Dodgers Dog show, anything we do on dodgersdaily.net or on our social media platforms, please contact me, leave a comment, DM me, or you can email me at dodgersdaily73@gmail.com. That's dodgersdaily73@gmail.com. Don't forget to leave a comment, like this video, interact with this video so it gets put in that algorithm, and YouTube recommends this video. It gets seen a little bit more, and we can keep growing here at Dodgers Daily and keep doing what we love to do, which is providing videos like this in the future. Okay, again, a great night for Los Angeles last night. That's who we're going to talk about first. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it, and let's talk Dodgers baseball. So the Dodgers won 9-1 last night. Really never was in question. Clayton Kershaw, again, didn't have his greatest stuff last night, but gutted it out and gave his team a really good start. The Dodgers now are 82-49 on the season. And now, because the Dodgers have beaten the Diamondbacks 2 games in a row, the Giants actually have leapfrogged the Diamondbacks for second place, 13 and a half games back to the Dodgers. A very, very, very demanding lead in the NL West and running away with this thing as we speak. So, hey, that's kind of not where your sights are set right now, because it looks like you have a comfortable setup in your own division. Okay, so your sights are set now on, of course, you have the Diamondbacks tonight, so you got to play it one game at a time. You got to win tonight's game. But then you have the Atlanta Braves coming in, who have a 4-game lead over the Dodgers in the National League as far as having the best record, which determines who has the home field advantage all the way through the playoffs. And you have the Atlanta Braves coming in for 4 games. So going to be super exciting there. And, you're going to have a chance to, if you can win tonight, you're going to have a chance to at least tie the Atlanta Braves if you sweep them over 4 games, which would be very, very, very difficult to do. But, hey, the possibility is there. It at least means that your own destination would be in your own hands at that point. If you can win tonight, you can guarantee the fact that through this Braves series, if you win every game, you could at least go out of there tied with the best record in the National League, which, again, like I said, means that your destiny is in your own hands at that point. So Clayton Kershaw, 6 innings last night. Boy, did he get it out. Didn't throw as many strikes as he normally does. Didn't throw as many strikes. I'm sure he would be the first one to tell you that he would like. Okay, so 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, 3 hits. So, hey, the walks weren't out of control or anything, but it was more so just being in zone and trying to stay away from the walks. The way that, he threw his fastball. A lot of times he throws his slider the most, but he threw his fastball the most last night. He threw 79 pitches, 42 strikes. So you talk about a magician, just figuring out a way to pitch around how you're pitching that night to continue to give your team excellence, first of all, and then also length as well. 6 innings, very good on the length. 1 earned run, very good on the results as far as not giving up very many runs, and he left the game with his team in a commanding position as far as being in position to win the game. The 4-seam last night, the fastball, okay, he didn't get swings and misses with it. It was more of a pitch that you try to get in the zone to try to get swing and hit for it. So to kind of give you an example of the way that he gutted things out last night, his fastball slider combo, he threw his fastball the most, his slider the second most. That's pretty typical for him. Sometimes that flips where the slider gets thrown the most. But last night, the fastball slider combo in zone 55% of the time. Okay, slider was in the zone 44% of the time. So the fastball 55%, slider just 44%. Those were the 2 pitches he threw the most. That goes to show you how much of a magician this guy actually is when your top 2 pitches aren't landing like you want them to, but you're still able to figure out how to do the job that Clayton Kershaw did last night. So what a true pro he is, how awesome he is. I'm so glad he's been a Dodger for all these years, and it was a joy to get to watch the Hall of Famer pitch last night as well. Okay, how about the Gus Bus? The Gus Bus, the only thing you could say about him is that in his innings, his 7 innings I believe he has so far since being called up with the Los Angeles Dodgers, maybe walks too many guys, but boy, is that stuff unbelievable. That slider last night had over 40 inches of vertical break, and it was inducing swing and miss out of the zone. It gets him out of jams. His fastball, I don't know exactly what it reached last night, but as far as the AAA setting, has hit as high as 98, consistently 97, and it has that arm side run to it. So it has good ride and run, and then when you combine that with the left turning slider, you have a little bit of right turn to your fastball. That is a combo that is just absolutely fantastic, and it's almost like Varland's throwing just enough strikes to be effectively wild, and then from that perspective, it makes him just extremely difficult to hit. So it was great to see Gus Varland throw his scoreless inning last night, get himself out of a jam against very good professional hitters and against right-handers and left-handers. So you have to be super impressed by Gus Varland. His average again since getting called up is just 206, and he has 10 strikeouts in his 7 innings. Does have the 7 walks, but hey, that effectively wild thing to where the hitters just can't sit there and ambush you, that has really worked for Gus Varland. How about Tyson Miller? What a great situation to reincorporate him back. We saw him at the major league level. The Dodgers DFA'd him, and then the Mets picked him up a couple weeks later. The Mets DFA him, the Dodgers pick him up, and he's back here. Cal Baptist is where he's from. Hey, by the way, Cal Baptist has produced 25 draft picks since 2012, so the last 11 years. So that is a program on the rise. Tyson Miller, got a chance to see him a couple times in AAA Oklahoma City. Not incredible velo, kind of a throwback that he likes to throw, use movement and location to get hitters out with. So Tyson Miller had a good outing last night. And then Victor Gonzalez. Hey, Victor Gonzalez has 4 outings since he's been back with LA. Another good setting. Hey, the game was in hand at that point. So you take your guys that you're kind of wanting to give a look to, maybe some runway to see if they can help. You put them in not quite so high leverage situations. You evaluate him from that perspective. Victor Gonzalez has gone scoreless in his 4 outings since returning to Los Angeles. He was very good last night in his 1 scoreless inning. And his average against Victor Gonzalez since he's been back with Los Angeles, just 0.67. So he's been very difficult to hit. Good job, Victor Gonzalez. Hey, what can you say about the offense last night? In particular, obviously, mookiebetts hit the home run, 2 hits. Will Smith hit the home run, 2 hits. But how about the bottom of the lineup? Hey, we know how good mookiebetts and Freddie Freeman have been. Mookiebetts is definitely in the lead, in my opinion, for the National League Player of the Year. He has 1 more WAR than Ronald Acuna Jr. He continues to pour it on. We'll see how this season finishes. So you have mookiebetts, Freddie Freeman, the best 1-2 combo. You have Will Smith. But hey, man, when the bottom of the lineup does what they did last night, it's going to make it impossible for anybody to beat the Dodgers. All in all, 16 hits, 9 runs, only 2 home runs to get to those 9 runs and 16 hits. So you had 14 other hits that were not home runs, and that is always a great thing. So the bottom of the order, okay, last night, the positions 6 through 9, okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, they went 8 for 12. If you back that up just one more spot and you say positions 5 through 9, they were 11 for 18 with 7 RBIs. So, hey, Chris Taylor had a huge night. James Outman had a hit. Jasonheyward had a hit. It was just Miguel Rojas had a hit. So it was just a great night offensively for the Dodgers. Very well balanced. The scoring was good as far as, spreading it out over different innings, spreading it out over different people. You scored in different ways. You generated runs, you hit home runs. You did a little bit of everything. So last night, hey, that was a masterpiece by the Dodgers offensively. And hey, I mentioned, about a week or so ago, the Dodgers had struggled a little bit offensively and in the recent times, hey, you have those ups and downs throughout 162 season, back on top. In the last 7 games, the Dodgers are averaging over 7 runs a game. So that's a good thing. Of course, you played in Boston over the weekend. That never hurts, and that sets you up for the huge matchup coming up. 4 games, the Atlanta Braves. And again, I'm going to say it again, Dodgers 4 games back from the Braves for having the best record in the National League. If you can just beat the Diamondbacks tonight, that means that you put your destiny in your own hands as far as being able to come out of the Braves series at least tied for the best record in the National League, which is huge because that determines who has home field advantage all the way through the playoffs. So it's going to be super exciting. Can't wait. It's a great time to be a Dodger. So, hey, that concludes our talk on the Los Angeles Dodgers, but there was a lot of action on the farm last night, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it, and let's take a trip down the farm. Hey, how about Kolten Wong? I showed up Sunday to do some interviews. I interviewed Kyle Hurt, and I also interviewed Bryson Brigman. And when I did, Brigman, before I got to interview Brigman, and then here Kolten Wong that you're seeing here, and then jorbitvivas that you're seeing right there, they were out taking extra ground balls. I've mentioned a couple times Vivas and Wong, very similar type players, very similar type builds. I think the experience that Wong's going to bring over is really going to help jorbitvivas, and you look how Vivas has been hitting. I think that's already played out. Plus, Kolten Wong, he has been playing just simply fantastic since the Dodgers picked him up. How about this? Kolten Wong is hitting 600, OPS 1736 since joining this club this past weekend. He's 5 for his last 6 with a home run, 2 doubles, 6 RBIs in 2 games. So he's giving the AAA Oklahoma City Dodgers good production. I think he's giving them leadership already with guys like jorbitvivas. And he's a guy that I think the Dodgers, of course, he's not on the 40-man, but hey, with the major league experience that he has, the way that he's playing, if he keeps playing like this, I think he's going to push for a roster spot too. So, hey, we'll see. You don't go out and get a Kolten Wong this late in the season if you're not at least thinking about the option of the possibility of maybe using this guy at the major league level, and especially if he's going to hit like he has, hitting 600 so far. So we'll keep monitoring Kolten Wong and his situation. Blake Treinen last night, hey, anytime you have a major leaguer like this that is working, that is on a rehab right there, that kind of little cutter pitch, they're working more on sequencing. They're working more on feel. They're working on just getting their pitches back. They don't even probably know who they're facing as far as the hitters go. Definitely not throwing to scouting reports. That slider pitch he worked on really good last night, trying to get the feel back for that, and they're trying to stay healthy. So, hey, I've never really even hardly mentioned results when you're talking about a rehab outing because it's just about the farthest thing on these guys' minds. They want to, hey, did I feel my slider properly? Did I sequence my pitches right? Do I feel like I have my mix or at least am I getting my mix to where I want it to be whenever I get the chance to go back up to the major league level? So Blake Treinen last night, he faced 4 hitters in his rehab outing, and his sinker touched 93.3, and it had 28 inches of vertical drop on it, 19 inches of horizontal break. His slider had 46 inches of vertical drop. He had a little bit of hard time keeping it in the strike zone, 17 inches of horizontal break. So lots and lots of movement to Blake Treinen's pitches last night. So the movement was good. Got to get in the strike zone a little bit better, which he will as his rehab continues to go on. So wanted to give you a good look at Blake Treinen. jonnydeluca, he got injured. He got up to the major leagues. He had a good stint with Los Angeles Dodgers, and then unfortunately he got injured. You're looking at a triple right here. He was very good last night for AAA Oklahoma City. It was good to see him back in action and using that speed to run around the bases. jonnydeluca can flat pick him up and put him down. He hit his second triple. I said double on my tweet, but it's actually a second triple. He was playing in just his 4th game back from returning off the IL and has back-to-back 2-hit games. So jonnydeluca starting to hit the baseball, get back in the groove, getting to play again, just 4 games back, getting back in the groove. There's Chris Gutierrez, third base coach for The Oklahoma City Dodgers, old Oklahoma State boy, got to see all of his action when he played for the Oklahoma State Cowboys in college. So good to see him doing a good job there as a third base coach for AAA Oklahoma City. But jonnydeluca, 2 hits last night, including his second triple. Well, I mentioned that jorbitvivas has been hitting the baseball, especially since Koltenwong came back over. He's been hitting the baseball really, really well. 3 hits last night for AAA Oklahoma City. Second multi-hit game in his last 3, and he's 6 for his last 14. So there you go. Yes, he has been hitting the baseball very, very well and exceptionally well, like I said, since Wong has come over. This past weekend, they were playing, they were taking ground balls together. I just think that's a great situation. And so, hey, jorbitvivas, who got called up just a little bit ago, has, a really good hit tool, got off the really hot start for Tulsa to start this season, had a little bit of a down patch about a month ago, back on his way up and hitting the baseball very well for AAA Oklahoma City. Miguel Vargas had 2 hits last night, right back up the middle. He is so good at using the big parts of the field. He had 2 hits, 2 RBIs, was on base 3 times. He was back home at third base. I like him way, way, way better as a third baseman. I just think, his tools, his range, his comfort level is much, much higher at the third base level. And I'm a believer, not everybody is, but I think if you're more comfortably defensively, I think that settles you down offensively as well. I think some guys, if they're not comfortable of where they're playing defensively, I think that can affect their offense as well. And I think that's Miguel Vargas. I think he's a much better third baseman than he is second baseman. But, hey, that's just my opinion. But I have seen him play hundreds of baseball games at both positions, and that's just where I come down on it. But, hey, the org that nobody knows their players better than the Los Angeles Dodgers. They make the right decisions almost every single time. So got to put your faith in them, no doubt about that. But good to see Miguel Vargas have a good night last night. Tulsa lost a really hard-fought extra inning game last night, but there was some really, really good pitching performances for the Drillers. Ben Harris, that you're seeing here, through 2.1 scoreless innings. And in essence, hey, this is a bullpen game. Braden Fisher started it. He gave up a couple of runs in his 2 innings to start the game. He was actually the opener, and then it was a bullpen game from there. Ben Harris has been pitching. We always talk about he's known to go on heaters. He's gone scoreless in 6 of his last 7 outings, and he's lowered his ERA this month to 2.21. His average against to 1.82. Okay, and so before his no-hit performance last night, his average against was 182, so his average against has gone down from there, probably around the 170 mark. So Ben Harris has always been extremely, extremely tough to hit. His ball's very deceptive. It's a matter of, can he throw enough strikes to be effective, to put the zeros up? When he does throw enough strikes, he is, he's one of the best pitchers in the minor leagues. So Ben Harris, a good performance last night. Good to see Antonioknowles have a good outing with that Conchinator, that pitch, that slider, that right there. That pitch is just a great pitch. Knowles went 2 innings. Most of the relievers last night went multi-innings because it was a bullpen game. That's Vladimir Chalo, by the way, behind the plate, that threw out a runner last night. Look right here. Look at that. Look at Chalo throw that runner out. Good arm, and I was very impressed defensively with Chalo last night. So Knowles, he had 2 strikeouts in his 2 innings. Average against this month, just 176, 13 Ks in 12 innings. So good job from Antonioknowles, a young man out of Key West. He's so proud to be a conch there. That program in Key West is such a great program that most of the schools that they play in Florida, they just bypass the home game and decide to play at Key West, whether it was supposed to be a home game for him or not. So most of his games as a senior, I think he said he played like 27 games. 24, 25 of them were at home in a great environment. A couple thousand people go watch him play. And, so good to see Antonioknowles, wonderful young man. I have an interview with him that I just posted about a month ago. If you want to check that out, good to see Antonioknowles have a good night last night. Emil Vargas had 2 hits. Boy, this guy is underrated. He's added quite a bit of power to his game this year. We always know that he gets on base at a very high clip. Matter of fact, he was on base 4 times last night for Double-A Tulsa. Vargas is 5 for his last 8, 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. So great job, Emil Vargas. Another good night for him. You're looking at Peter Hubeck. He did give up a couple of runs in his 3-inning start yesterday. But hey, kind of like I've talked about with Ben Kasparius, just watch his stuff right here. just watching him pitch last night, the stuff was absolutely huge. There's a changeup right there. That's a pitch that he's trying to really refine. He's always had the huge curveball, the fastball that sits around 94 that you saw right there, can touch anywhere, maybe 96 right there that you saw. So 94 to 96 on the fastball, the good changeup that he is developing, and the huge curveball that you saw right there. That is a tremendous mix. He also has a slider to give him a little bit of a left turn, and there's that four seam up and into a righty. So, hey, not always about the results. It's about the process. The process last night, look at that huge curveball. The process was Peter Hubeck, his stuff was electric last night, and it's really coming around. He's trying to get to be that four-pitch mix guy, a guy that can sit 94 to 96 and throw the ball in the strike zone, with four different pitches and have swing and miss with his curveball and his slider and his change with a good fastball. And he's on his way to doing that. I'm just telling you, the way he's pitching, he is getting a lot better. He is working towards his goals. So I don't pay attention necessarily to results in these situations when guys throw as well as he has. Like I said, kind of like Ben Kasperius, the results will come. I promise you, the results will come if Peter Hubeck keeps throwing like that. This is Sauron Lau, who this time last year was an infielder, I think a third baseman for the Great Lakes Loons. Mainly, of course, they play everywhere, and it's hard to tell where they're going to play each and every night. But I think he played mainly third base last night for Great Lakes. Look at that arm side movement on that pitch. Lots of arm side movement. He's a great athlete. There's another arm side movement on a changeup. So he has that sinker and the changeup that both have a little bit of right turn to it, which is great against lefties. You can see a lefty right there can't stay on that pitch because it's just sliding away from him. And there's another right turn to a sinker pitch that just went off of the barrel of a left-hander. So you got to figure Sauron Lau, although he's right-handed, he will be very good against left-handed hitters because he has the right turn to his pitches and great movement. He went 2 innings scoreless last night, 4 strikeouts, and like I said, converted infielder. ERA on the year, 3.33, scoreless in 4 of his last 5 outings, and has given up just 3 earned runs in his last 20 and a third inning. So you can see the good stuff, the great athletic ability of Sauron Lau. Franklin De La Paz has been absolutely on point as of late. 1 inning last night of relief. He struck out 2. He gave up no hits, and he has gone scoreless in 4 outings in a row in 5 of his last 6, and he has 9 strikeouts in that 7-inning span. So, boy, it's Franklin De La Paz. Young man I always talk about, hey, he reminds me of Jeff Belge, who the Dodgers had last year, and they traded to the Marlins, doing a very good job in relief for the High A Great Lakes Loons. Last night was Ronankopp's 6th relief outing in a row, and it was his 6th scoreless outing in a row. I'm telling you, man, this dude in late game, high leverage situations, he is must-see TV. His extension is great. His stuff is already dynamic, but when you put him in the back end of the games instead of the front end of the games, now he gets a little bit of boost of adrenaline, and boy, his stuff just absolutely ramps up. Last night, he was just simply electric. 6 relief appearances, 0 runs allowed, 10 strikeouts, 2 hits total given up in those 6 outings. So Ronankopp, keep your eye on him. I do think he's going to stay in relief for the remainder of this year. I don't necessarily think relief is something that will be totally permanent for him. We'll have to see what they do with him in the offseason, but I do think it's going to stick with him for the remainder of this year. Now, we've seen there's the emotions right there, the adrenaline you get from a late inning situation, high leverage. So, hey, the Loons we saw yesterday with Tulsa, you could have an opener and use a relief pitcher to start a game. But I do think, the vast majority of what he's going to be doing for the remainder of this year will be in relief. So, hey, we're going to keep our eye on Ronankopp. So watch this. This is Damonkeith. We all know that he can hit. It's been a little bit of a down year for him. He's fought with injuries, but doing a good job as of late, hitting the baseball. Hits it off the bottom of the wall. He has tremendous power. Now watch the speed. I mean, he's already at third base. This dude, Damonkeith, I was watching actually didn't really get to see him run around the bases, but I was listening to Brad Tunney talk last night about Damonkeith, and he went on for a couple of minutes. It was great dialogue. If you want to go on, watch the Loons on MILB.TV and go to this part of the game, the bottom of the 6th inning. Brad Tunney does a tremendous job talking about the speed of Damonkeith and how he is actually the second fastest guy on the team behind Jake Vogel. So Damonkeith, not only does he have the good arm, not only is he a great athlete, or as far as playing the outfield, not only does he have, the really, really toolsy hit tool that, should be able to hit very well, he also has great speed. So add that to the arsenal for Damonkeith. I knew he's a good athlete, but I didn't realize he was actually that fast. So that was a surprise to me, and it was great to see and great to hear from Damonkeith. Alex Freeland, big power, kapow. Look at that. Wow, I love it when he hits home runs because, boy, when he does, it just stays hit. Home run number 9 for the UCF Knight. He had 2 hits last night for Great Lakes Loons. For the Great Lakes Loons, 2 RBIs, back-to-back multi-hit games. He's 4 for his last 8, 5 RBIs in his last 2 games, 5 multi-hit games in his last 10, and he's 13 for his last 34, which is a .382 average in those 10 games. So Alex Freeland, hey, we'll talk about his range, kind of Corey Seager-ish. Well, as far as, maybe a comp, as far as his skills, his size, the way that he plays, his power potential, the type of offensive player he could become. I compare him to Corey Seager. I just love this guy's. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Corey Seager, but that type of game, that type of build. But I am extremely high on Alex Freeland's abilities, both offensively and defensively, and he had another home run last night, home run number 9. The Rancho Cucamonga Quakes were in Stockton last night, and unfortunately there was not video of the game because Kendall George had 3 hits last night. Josue De Paula had 3 hits last night, including his 15th double of the season. Joe Vitrano had 3 hits, including a triple, his first triple since being drafted this past draft class. Theron Lorenzo had 2 hits. Also, Jose Izada had 2 hits. Luis Rodriguez had a couple of hits. And Jordan Thompson. All in all, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes pounded out 16 hits, 11 runs. They beat the Stockton Ports 11-3. Christian Romero got the start. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, had 5 strikeouts, no walks, 7 hits. Calvin Ramirez had 2 scoreless innings, had 5 strikeouts, just 1 walk, did not give up any hits. And that was the pitching on the night for Rancho Cucamonga. A great night for them. Again, they won 11-3, had 16 hits. Again, Kendall George, a big night. The Dodgers' number 1 draft pick from this past draft had 3 hits. Another 2023 draft pick, Joe Vitrano, had a couple of hits as well. And Josue De Paula, one of the biggest prospects in all of baseball, he had 3 hits of his own. So a big night for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. So there you have it, a busy show and a lot of action last night. Everybody was in action. All 5 teams, as far as the affiliates go, were playing. Again, a little bit of a rough night on the farm. Rancho was the only affiliate to win, but like I said, any time that you play and you get the win at the major league level, that is always the goal. You'll go 0-4 every night if you can win at the major league level in each one of those nights. So, hey, all in all, a great night for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Gonna put the uniform back on. One of the great things about baseball is you get to do it all again the next day. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. Next time you'll see me will be tonight for Dodgers Dogs at 6 o'clock Pacific, as Austin Brubaker will join for that. Just a reminder, and then our next Dodgers Daily show will be Friday morning, so I hope you tune into that one as well. Okay, so that will be the next time you see me. Just a reminder, we are open for business. If you know anybody who would like to sponsor, or you have a business that you would like to sponsor Dodgers Daily with, Dodgers Dog Show, DodgersDaily.net, or anything we do on social media, just email me, DM me, or leave a comment. We can make that happen. I can get you pricing packages and let you know how that would work. Also, don't forget to interact with this video. Leave a comment, like it, share it, and tell all your friends about Dodgers Daily so we can keep growing and keep doing what we love to do, which is providing videos like this in the future. As always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in and say, Go Dodgers.